Welcome back to the Sun and Moon Tarot. Today we will find what is good and what is hidden. I hope you're well and staying blessed, enjoying life wherever you are. This is a Virgo season read for my water signs. If you do have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces highly aspected in your birth chart, this read is likely for you. We'll be using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck for the majority of the read. The first row, there will be 3 rows. The first row will be your recent past. The second row will be your current energy. The third row will be the future. We'll grab a couple clarifying cards. Bottom of the deck holds the overall energy for your read. We will also be grabbing a couple clarification cards from this deck. It's really beautiful. I love to include it. Okay, water signs, I hope you're enjoying the Earth season. It is technically the end of summer going into fall. I'm going to, I did my website's live, so that's actually linked in the description box. If you'd like to check out my booking prices there, you can do so. My email is still listed in the description box if you'd like to email me to book, but you can do so on the website as well. Excuse me. I think I already included the link for my occult fiction blog in the description box, like in my auto prompt, but if not, I will be adding it this month for Virgo season. I'm adding that, so check out the website, check out the tarot website, check out the blog, book with me if you'd like. And yeah, that's where we're at. All right, water signs, I hope you're all doing great. Hope you're enjoying life. Oh, I've been talking about this in the other 2 reads that are already published, so I will include this as well. And hopefully I will remember in fire sign reads, but I would like to do little vlog lessons that are purchasable that I will eventually be adding to my website as well. Majority of the topics will be alchemy to start with, but if you do have any requests, you can comment on this video or email me if you have any requests of content that you'd like to see. Obviously this would be paid content, not just for YouTube. Your first card. I love it. The Wheel of Fortune. The 10 of Spirit or Major Arcana does appear. Alright, water signs. You've got the Knight of Pentacles. All the cards are falling. We do have the Justice card in reverse and the 4 of Cups. Right, for your current energy. If you're watching this during Virgo season, the first row is going to likely resonate as going into Virgo season, the end of Leo season. The middle row is going to likely resonate as the entire season of Virgo. Oh, all the cards are falling. And then the last row will be the last bit of Virgo season, the changes you can kind of expect going into Libra. We did get is that 2 cards? Sorry. There we go. Thank you for your patience. The Magician and the 2. Oh, I love this. The Magician and the 2 of Swords. I love the bottom row. We've got the Emperor, the King of Swords, and the Fool all upright. Right, sorry. Set the deck down because I dropped half the cards. Okay. I do need clarification cards from this deck, and then whatever's at the bottom of the deck will be your overall energy, water signs. 3. Wow. Okay, I'll take them, but that's a lot, I feel clarification cards. We'll pull those towards the end. I'm moving your layout a little bit. I never do that. New things, new things. The death card is at the bottom of the deck. I love that that came up because it ties into what I was going to talk about a little bit more. So I did already mention, mic check. No, we're good. I did already talk a little bit about the vlogging lessons. So one of the things that I'm talking about in each of the videos is something that this is what I mean by alchemy lessons. So like whatever you're attempting to produce in your life, depending on the kind of connection, it doesn't really matter actually. But as we're going into an Earth season, a Virgo season is Earth, and it's a mercurial Earth. So you want to be making major efforts to like sow ideas and connections and communications with that, and anything to do with networking. I'm sorry, I don't think I mentioned this in the other videos, but Virgo is and Gemini are ruled by Mercury. So in terms of what we would want to sow during an Earth Mercury season is anything to do with communication. It will benefit you. And I know that it seems like I'm just like kind of ranting, but you're going to see the kind of like your seeds that you've planted during Virgo season, you will see them kind of pop up and start to produce in Scorpio season. Now at the bottom of the deck for your overall energy, you do have the death card. That is actually typically the representation of the astrological sign of Scorpio. That's where the information point came from. Anyway, so yeah, the whatever you're trying to create during this kind of like, I know everybody's like, well, it's harvest, it's autumn. It is, but you remember like A, there are 4 seasons. B, there's a million different things that you can grow. If we do the gardening analogy that I did for air signs, like spinach, for example, is like typically grown in winter. There are certain, everything grows in different types of areas, in different types of different types of ways, but ultimately when you seed them, that begins that cycle. And I know I might sound like I'm spiraling, and that's fine, but you either get it or you don't. The death card can be endings and actual death, but it's typically metamorphosis. Like it's often change and growth. And so whatever you're planting is you're going to see the fruits of your labor, regardless of if it's a communication or a relationship or whatever. But whatever you do plant during the season, you will likely see the changing of the cycle, the metamorphosis, through the next few seasons. And then at the end of Scorpio season, going into Sagittarius season, you will see the absolute fruits of your labor. Is kind of what I'm trying to explain. If you're trying to learn alchemy and manifest, that's what I would do. And again, you can book with me if you like a personal read, and you can book, not yet, but you will eventually be able to book alchemy lessons with me. Water break. Okay. So, the death card is the overall energy, right? It is all about metamorphosis, change. It can be, like I said, it can be death. It can literally be death manifesting. But that is sometimes change. It is the process of the one door closing and another opening. Ultimately, the change is there and present, and it's often also the representation of an end of cycle. So whatever you don't necessarily maybe don't want to end, I don't know why I'm being called to say that, but it might end. But you also might want it to end because you might be excited about the new beginnings that will take place. Like I said, when one door closes, another opens. That's how energy works. So we'll talk about alchemy later. But excuse me. And again, you can book with me if you'd like. You can always book my time to talk about alchemy. I can teach you stuff for tarot and astrology as well. But we're really going to get into your read for real, for real. I'm so sorry I keep chattering about my website, but I'm very excited about it. The change that you're trying to manifest. So I'm not trying to be judgmental of water signs, but I don't remember which season it was that I said you had some sort of a choice. Like whether if you're being manipulative to stop or to not. Well, if you are not in that party where you're not manipulative at all, and you got help instead, you know what I mean? Or I'm not trying to press. If it didn't resonate, drop this little scenario. But and I genuinely don't remember which season it was. But I do remember that you had like a warning about future karma rather than dharma, because ultimately, like how energy plays out and how someone it's crazy. I just wrote a short story about this. If you are interested, check out the Shapeshifter Returns on my blog. I know I said I was going to post that, but I did. So it will be in the description box if you click on it. It's like a short, and it's kind of funny, but it gives like an inside look into like what I'm talking about, what I was talking about in that video, which is ultimately energetic vampirism, or how people siphon energy from others or harvest it. And so if you are someone that does that, then you are looking at not such a great potential karmic change. And if you are someone that, like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like if you don't hold your own boundaries, then you're going to be taken advantage of by people like that. So you really do want to stand your ground. Again, I don't remember what season I said that. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Justice card in reverse. So, major change has to take place one way or another, right? It's destined. You either made the changes or you didn't. And ultimately, if you didn't, if you are one of these people, whether you want to admit it or not, you have been banking on energy that you didn't that was not yours to bank, like to spend, you know. So like that's why this karma is coming. I'm not trying to be mean. It's a slow moving energy with the Knight of Pentacles. It's likely going to be in the form of money as well, or it could be. And again, if you've been like an honest person that's held your boundaries and not harmed people, you know, this is not something you have to worry about. This is something that is more like going to be the opposite energy, because the wheel does represent either karma or dharma. It depends on where you're at. So anyway, that doesn't matter. It does matter, but you know what I mean. We're going to move forward is what I should say. The efficiency and the hard work, the responsibility portion of the Knight of Pentacles, not just the slow moving energy, but like it's absolutely efficient. It does not miss. So no matter, again, it whatever you're at on the table, it's going to turn, and then it might seem slow, but either way, you don't have control. Like it's already too late. You've already either done the work to be on the side of dharma or karma. So when this hits, that's that. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to be clear. You might think that there's some form of like fear potentially where you feel like you can stall whatever is happening with the Justice card in reverse. And you can't. It's destined. I'm not trying to be like the big bad mean messenger wolf that comes down to your house and yells at you, but like there's some stuff here. So if you are in the energy of like I use my emotion to heal others and to not manipulate or take, then that's going to put you in a dharma, like more of a mode of creating positive energy. And as long as you're not being necessarily fed on by, again, some form or another of a shapeshifter or a vampire, then you should, as long as you're not being siphoned, you should be able to use that dharma energy, is what I'm trying to get at, to get what you want. I don't know why you would stall. Sorry, water break. The only reason stalling would make sense to me, or like fear of sacrifice would make sense to me, is if you are on the side of karma rather than dharma. But where we're at here, remember how much I've jabbered on about metamorphosis and one door closes, the other one opens. You can't stall when the door closes. You're in the hallway. You're in the transition place. You're in the way. People are trying to walk. Like, get out the way. Get in the other side. Go to the other door. Go through the door. Don't stall. There's no stalling. You gotta go to the door. You can't avoid it. Like, for real. You gotta make the change. The metamorphosis has to happen. Has to. The other door's already closed. So you can try to slowly sink in the transition phase for a little bit, but it's not gonna last you. And there's really no reason, because even if it is karma, the thing about time and change is like it's consistently changing. You can always learn lessons and move forward in a really positive way. Like it's not gonna be there forever. And that's what the death card is ultimately about. Change. Growth. True metamorphosis is growth, and growth is not all fun. Sometimes it's painful. So even if it is painful, whatever this lesson is, whatever you don't want to sacrifice in the recent past, like you had to, and you have to, if you're like still like briefly holding on to whatever it is. Like it's just what it is destined. The change is destined, even if you don't want it to be, regardless of why. Something that has to happen. Now, in the current energy, you've got the Four of Cups. So you're sorry, I shouldn't chuckle. I'm going to say this before I go into any form of definitions. Like, during Virgo season, you're going to be like, I planted these seeds, but I didn't want this. Sorry, that's very mean of me to laugh. That was rude, actually. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. The Magician card is present. It was present in the air sign read. So again, what are you trying to manifest in this season? What are you trying to sow? All four elements are present in that card. He's got the selenite wand, the infinity symbol above him. He's wearing a robe. Everything about this is about practice. Everything about this is about a manifestation. like signature, what's it called? Oh fuck, I can't remember the terminology right now. That's a symbol. All the symbolism on the card, thank you, is actually has like ultimate meaning in terms of alchemy and what they're attempting to manifest. I'm chuckling at the Four of Cups because it's like you knew that you would have to make some changes that you didn't want to make, and like you're like the Four of Cups is you ultimately being kind of like apathetic and a little bit almost disconnected to like whatever the universe is attempting to manifest with you. And it's kind of silly and making me laugh because like what at some point you wanted this. At some point you made like active decisions here as well with the Two of Swords being present, where you're like, I'm gonna make mindful decisions because I really think that this is what I want. Like this is it. This is it. And you're somehow, for some reason, disconnected from this all of a sudden once it appears, which does not really make a lot of sense to me, but I'm not judging. Excuse me, that sounded very judgy. Maybe not all of you because of what I said earlier in the first row. Like, maybe some of you didn't actually want the changes that are being presented that are necessary, you know, because it being karmic change rather than things that you're attempting to manifest through like true alchemy and dharma, which would be you working through positive energy work to manifest what is good for you but also others, so you're consistently growing and changing your perspective so that what you're attempting to manifest is also good for everything around you, not just you, right? So there might be some lessons there if you're on the more selfish side of the spectrum. This is not a judgmental thing where you're learning to be a little more selfless and connected. Again, not trying to judge, just saying, like, there's something there where you're kind of like growing in a really healthy way. I know a lot of people get all like panicky about the death card, but it really is about metamorphosis, and you change your entire life. You are never the same person. You're consistently supposed to be growing at all times. At all times. So this lesson is actually very positive because you already know how to work with this energy and move forward with it, or you do not know and you're going to learn how in a very positive way. Look at that last row, water signs. Remember I was like, ooh, oh my. Okay, so the Emperor, the King of Swords, and the Fool card. Whatever you're attempting to manifest, whatever lessons you needed to learn if you were more so on the karma scale rather than the dharma scale, that's fine. It's just that you are going to learn these lessons and you're going to sow seeds so that change happens in a really positive way. That you get to see with the Emperor card, you're going to see it start to grow. Excuse me. In a very logical manner, and you're going to feel like a little bit like almost like whatever it is, it's going to feel almost like childlike innocence and glee because whatever it is, it's like taking off and growing, and you really wanted this to work for you, and you're noticing that it's positive for you, for everyone around you, for everything that it influences. Whatever this thing is that you're taking on or manifesting or growing is very positive, and it's going to when you take on any type of connection, whether it's a relationship, any type of networking opportunity, any type of growth, any type of wherever you're programming your time with your vessel, there, wherever you're programming your time with your vessel. I feel like that was as direct as possible. Anyway, that's where you're going to see like extreme logical active change. Did I spin off? No, we're good. Okay, I think I spun off a little bit. Anyway, so moving forward, whatever you're trying to manifest, water signs, it's going to be very positive. Even if you're like, this is bullshit, whatever I have to deal with is not. It might even genuinely be bullshit, like for all, in the recent past. But moving forward, it's pushing you in a way that's you're able to make blindfolded decisions and manifest in a more positive way and program yourself and like put yourself in situations where you're programming yourself to create more dharma rather than karma, which is ultimately what you do want. At the end of the day, it's going to enable you to actually manifest and to see the path, to cut through the bullshit, to see the path that will enable you to actually really be happy. Sometimes we don't recognize that things are actually not in our highest good, and we keep trying to make it work and keep trying to work, and it disappoints us over and over and over and over and over until we realize that it is not ever going to not disappoint us. And I really hope that anybody that listens to this video learns quickly, because I hope you, I mean, none of us like to repeat lessons, but it's not fun. So, you know, this is positive change. This is seeing, like I said, whatever you're trying to grow, it's seeing the spurts of effort actually start to pop, the green and the soil actually start to appear, if you're gardening. But we're going to flip your clarification cards. In reality, you're going to be focused on, okay, well, this brings me really negative energy. So instead of creating karma in the future, I am going to do things that it's going to vary for everybody, but it's going to be like basically more logical, grounded decisions that you're going to be focused on. And if you're manifesting, you already know this, and I am preaching to the choir. So the clarification cards are a little bit interesting. King of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Ten of Swords. Don't take on any it's weird. It would be weird. But because I just like went on and on and on about how you're like learning how to manifest and what would be in the highest good, your clarification card, I'm literally getting a warning that if somebody is like overly generous with you in a way that seems maybe weird, it is weird. Like they're trying to backstab you in some way, shape, or form. If you are business partners with a earth sign, make sure that they are not breadcrumbing you, because that is a different, that would be the opposite. Like they are intentionally giving you less than your fair share, basically, and they're intentionally backstabbing you. I don't know why there's so many backstabbing warnings here. Good lord. You got a double 10 as well on the read. I just noticed that. Huh. So there's a like major form of completion here. Oh, if you have potentially, I'm so sorry to say this, if you've backstabbed people in business, then they might backstab you. I'm sorry, water signs. But as long as you have kind of like clear karma, then you really don't have all that much to worry about. It's more so just like keep putting in the effort where it creates positive waves, and recognize that. I hate to say this, but yeah, any type of breadcrumbing or overgiving is one form or another of manipulation. And almost every time, like, people use manipulation in war, just like they typically use seduction in war, not love, which is, it's an interesting. We're gonna shut the fuck up. Right. Anyway, okay, water signs. So, Mama's brain is swirling on some stuff over here, but you'll hear about it in the blog. Anyway, stay safe. We earn karma, but that doesn't mean that you deserve to be in pain. There's a difference. You don't deserve abuse. There's a huge difference. Stay safe. Don't allow people to take advantage of you. Get help if you need it, and very much keep focusing on this beautiful lesson that you have of alchemy. Because if you're really very focused on that, and you're focused on manifestation, then that warning is actually kind of brief, and it really should not hurt you, because you'll already be aware that somebody's being like a little weird, because it will be apparent that there's some like oddities behind whatever's going on. Alright, I'm gonna stop. I don't know what that is. Do you remember? I don't. I'm gonna have the guide of my fucking eyes are shit right now. I'm so sorry, everybody. So, yeah, I'd have to have another device. Look up the guide. I don't have that out or available right now at all. So, you got these cards. The Beautiful Abundance card, which is legitimately a dragon hatcher. And she is a representation of true abundance, as everything around her is in true flow, if you understand symbolism. This is the card that came with it. I can't remember what that means. It would ultimately be the first card or the ace of whatever element this is, and I think it's air. I really think it's air. So that means it's ace of clarity, sharpness of mind, if I'm correct. If I'm incorrect and you look up the guide or whatever and you want to comment, go for it. But that's what we're going to go with. I'm pretty sure it's air. So you're having like ultimately a gift from the universe of like clarity on whatever will create abundance. And that is ultimately the lesson of how do I create good dharma, because it will create happiness and abundance in every dimension of my life. And that is the alchemist's path, ultimately. There's 33 on the clock right now when I said that, which is the number of all good, of what is the highest good for all in creation. So it's actually very important to people that practice alchemy, because again, you're working with everything. You're working with all that is in existence and attempting to like basically work with chaos theory to like somewhat bend reality, but not really, but kind of, but not really. More like work with it. Okay? So, yeah. Enough of my ranting. Hope you enjoyed the content, water signs. I always enjoy making it. Hope you have a beautiful Virgo season. I will see you in the next read.